volunteer come up here, please? I got something for you. All right. Sorry, I got a box on this thing. I don't know why. Here, can you put this backpack on? This is my backpack. It was really nice. It was given to me by my parents. Here, go ahead and put this backpack on for me, will you? So we're talking about mental health these days, right? And this is our series. We're sending our series. Go ahead and step right on up here. Okay. So, how many of you know? Sometimes there's a little weight left. Hold on, I got something here. Sometimes life has a little bit of weight. Now, like, how many of you got to wake up early and go to school, and you got to do things. Like as an adult, you don't get to sleep in until whenever you get to. There you go, Dixie. That's not too heavy, is it? I mean, there's weight there. There's weight there, right? But it's not like this is something manageable. You can live like this, right? No. Right? Life is heavy at times, right? There's a real weight to living life. You gotta wake up. When you get to be an adult, you gotta go to work. Nowadays, you have to go to school. Like, you actually have to get up and go. You can't just lay in bed all day. You can't watch TV and scroll on Instagram. Like, you actually have to do something, right? You gotta take a shower every day. There's a little bit of weight to life, right? It's not that bad. But then things come along, and you get shame for not being a little bit better. And this one says, does God even love me? I don't know. And then you get other things like, here's some addiction, and this one's academic pressure. Anyone deal with that? Like, oh man, pressure. And then, you've got like negative self-talk. Maybe you broke up with a boyfriend or girlfriend recently. Like, these are big things, and they add a little bit of weight to it, right? Maybe you hit puberty. And you start wondering, are you okay? Here. There's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Hold on. I got a couple more in here. There's more things that can here, hold on. Let me just zip this up real quick.
Don't force it.
Right.
Don't think about it.
You're okay.
Think about pillows.
Don't worry. I'm just going to zip this up. You're all right. Are you okay? Here, let me lift this real quick, just for a second. Well, I zip this up. All right, so you got that weight on you. Here, hold on. I gotta put a couple more things right here. This one's pressure about the future. Hold on. And this one's what is this one? Family tensions. Anyone have family tensions? Oh, you want to read them? Hold on. Here, I got one here. This one's comparison. You can have that. And what about this one? Anybody ever deal with this one? Here, hold on to this one. Hold on to it. All right, Dixie. Is this weight, does it feel like this weight is crushing you?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, right? Can you do me a favor? I just want to see if you can do it. Like normally, in normal circumstances, you can pop a nice squat. Can you go ahead and pop a squat for me?
Yeah.
Let me see. All right, let's do like 3 more. Right, come on, pop a squat. All right, so you see how this weight is just like crushing you, right?
Do I get to keep this?
No.
You hold on. You don't want to keep that. That's secret sin right there. You don't want to keep that. Let's get rid of that one. That's too much for you to bear. Let's see, Dixie, this thing is too much for you to bear. What about if I lift it for you?
I can do it.
It feels better, right? So when I take this off, go ahead and stand up. All right, can you walk over to this side over here real quick? Can you pop a squat for me? There you go. Now walk back over here. All right, now pop a squat for me again. See, that's so much easier when you don't have to bear all this weight, this heavy burden. Right? All right. Now, can you do this? You can do it. Kind of. You can't really pop that squat the same way. But you can't really operate. Yeah, go ahead and put those back in there. Like, it's such a weight that it's crushing you, right? Was any one thing too much for her to bear? No. Hey, Dixie, can you do me a favor? If you go in there in the fridge, I just realized it's on the top shelf and there's somebody in there so they can help you. Sabrina, can you go help her? In the fridge, in the drawer, you open up the first door. At the very top, there's this thing I want you to get it out for. It's called a Diet Coke. Yeah, she's going to like that. I want to say thank you for her. But this is what depression looks like. It's what depression feels like. It's heavy. It crushes you. It's not just it's typically, it's not one big thing. You're not just being crushed under a boulder, but it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, that, this. Oh my gosh, it all adds up. It's too much for me to bear. It's a million things, and I feel like I'm carrying the world. It's a lot. You see, there's 3 layers of depression. There's 3 different types in the way that depression comes into our life. There's emotional pain, when you have a breakup. My first crush, her name was Nancy Goodrich, and I remember I was in high school. I think I was a freshman in high school, right? I'd been crushed on this girl for like a year. It was clear she didn't want to date me, but that's fine. Like, she was still nice to me. She was a great girl, but, she told me one day, she goes, yeah, I'm dating this other guy. And I go, okay. And I went home, and when I got home, I remember that night crying myself to sleep, and I was crushed. I was like, oh, the girl that I love is dating another man. It's fine. I never even dated her anyway. It's all fine. I had that crush for like 4 years. 2 years. I don't know. I had crushed on her for a few years. And then I got a girlfriend of my own. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep talking about my crush girlfriend. Emotional pain.
I wish I knew that.
Not just relationships, but also like trauma. That's emotional pain. If you face trauma in your life, that's scars that if they haven't been healed, they're going to continue to cause hurt. They're going to continue to be a weight carried on your back. Maybe it's somebody you trusted let you down. It's emotional pain, grief. You lost somebody that was close to you, a relative, a family member. Then there's also mental strain. There's anxiety, there's stress, there's worry, there's fear. There's like when life gets so busy and you never have a chance to breathe and you're just like, I am getting crushed by all this stuff that I gotta do. Maybe that's internal or external pressures. Maybe that's, somebody telling you, you have to do this. You have to go out and do the sports because I played football, but I was never good enough. So you got to play football and you got to go pro. You're like, I don't even want to play sports. I'd rather be in band. Maybe there's internal pressures where you're telling yourself, oh, if I don't get all A's, I'm going to be stressed. If I don't get honor roll, I'm going to be stressed. Now, I'm going to tell you guys also, I'm going to be real. There's also like a positive external pressure, like some of you, when I tell you, hey, got to make sure you turn on your homework on time. Like, hey, you got to make sure you're passing your classes in school. You got to make sure you're doing a good job. Don't give half effort. Give effort. I would say the difference, though, is I don't look at you and say, if you don't pass your classes, you're worthless. I don't look at you and say, your value is dependent on what you do. And I hope I make that clear when I encourage some of you. Then there's also spiritual attack. And that's where the enemy sits there. He whispers lies into your heart. He says, you're worthless. Actually, he doesn't say you're worthless. What he says is, I'm worthless. Because he likes to pretend like he's you. So it sounds like your own thoughts speaking your brain. Have you ever had those thoughts before where you're like, I'm just not good at anything, I guess. Yep. I'm just worthless. I just don't belong. Nobody even likes me anyway. Just drop off a bridge. It's fine. We all have those thoughts. The difference is when we start thinking about those thoughts, when those thoughts go from, well, what would happen if I just jumped off a bridge? You're like, why did I even think of that? I'm pretty sure every person who's ever driven in my life, correct me if I'm wrong, every person who's ever driven in their life, they've thought at some point, I wonder what happens if I just, in oncoming traffic, like what would just happen? That's not like suicidal thoughts. Those are just crossing thoughts. When you start thinking about them, you're like, I should do that. Yeah. No, that actually sounds enticing. Do you see the difference? When you're like, I wonder what would happen if I touched that hot stove. Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. I shouldn't do that. Right? But when you cross that threshold, you start like, what if I ponder this? What if I think on this? And you start imagining it in your mind. That's when you need to talk to somebody. That's when you need to go see somebody and reach out. Tell your parents, tell your family, tell one of your small group leaders, tell me. That's important, right? when you start dreaming about those ideas, when the weight of life gets too heavy, when the lies in your ear, in your head, get a little too loud, and when the future promises feel just so far away. You're like, I know I'm going to do something great one day, but right now I'm just kind of a nobody. When those thoughts start replaying in your mind, they start speaking louder and louder, that's when depression starts to set in. You see, the enemy attacks your mind because he's scared of the future of you. I got a question. How many of you have tried to ever go push over a full-grown tree? Like you go out to this tree that's out here and you're like, I'm gonna go push it over. How well does that work? When it's healthy and it's strong and it doesn't.
Almost never.
Yeah, how does it work?
It doesn't work. Instead, I sprain my wrist.
Yeah, it just doesn't budge. Like a fully grown tree is like, I'm not budging. And yet, how many of you have ever seen like a little baby tree, like a sapling that's like maybe this tall? It's like this big around, and you can just walk over and like push it over.
Yeah.
Do you guys see the difference? One has grown, has faced trials, and has overcome them. And the other one hasn't yet. And so little wind, 1 foot can knock it over, right? That's why the enemy attacks you guys right now when you're young, because he's like, hey, if I can keep them attacked when they're young, maybe I can keep them from ever getting to their future, ever getting to the destiny. But see, the enemy tells you things like, this will be forever. It will always be like this. No one will ever care about you. He'll say things like, things will never change. Why even have hope? I'll tell you why you have hope. First verse, Jeremiah 29:11. Bible says this. He says, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They're plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. You know, so he's saying, I have plans for you. I know they're good, to give you a future and a hope. Have you guys ever been watching a movie and you stop halfway in the movie? You go, well, the main characters are facing some problems, so I guess they should give up. Like you're wearing an Avengers shirt. What would happen if the Avengers just gave up halfway? Like when Thanos first showed up and he killed Loki and then, beat up Thanos or Thor.
We don't talk about that.
Like, what if the Avengers go, well, Thanos is coming, guess we give up, and they just quit? Well, what would be the point? But instead, they push through until the end. And what happens at the end?
They win.
They win. Tony Stark snaps.
He dies.
Yes, he
But
does.
at the same time, they lose.
But it was a sacrifice to save everyone else,
At
right?
the same time, they lose because they lost someone important.
So
It's a sad movie.
the thing is, they didn't stop halfway. They saw it through to completion. That's my point. That's what I'm getting at. In any movie you watch, if you stop halfway, you're like, man, that was a bad movie. The main character faced some troubles, and he never really got help. Even if you watch a rom-com, like,
They won.
well, okay, so the guy doesn't have the girl, and well, that's kind of sad. But if you watch to the end, he realizes, I gotta have that girl, and then he goes and jumps on the white horse and chases her down. I've seen a couple of rom-coms. I know how they work. The story doesn't end until the final page, so don't cut your story early. I guess that's what I'm saying. You see, hopelessness, depression tries to tell you that you're alone. But the truth is, God has never abandoned you, not for a single moment. Even in your darkest night, in the moment where you feel like you've messed up so bad, that's the very moment God's like, I want you. I want you. I want you. That's when he says that. He says, I want you. I choose you. In that very moment, that's when he came. Because it says, I don't have this verse in there, I'm sorry, but it says that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. He chose us while we were in the midst of our problems. Does anybody know the name of a man named by Horatio Safford? You do? Who was it? What?
I don't know exactly, dude, but I overheard some people talk about it before.
Okay. So Horatio Safford, he lived in the 1800s.
They what?
And in 1835, he was a successful lawyer. He was an elder in his church. And he had a family. He had 5 kids, 1 son and 4 girls.
Wow.
And he lived in America. And in 1835, he lost his son to illness. His son got sick, very ill, and died. About 2 years later, his family decided they were all going to go on a vacation. Right before they left, his lawyer office burned to the ground. So he looked at his wife and his 4 daughters and he says, that's okay. You guys go ahead. I'm going to clean up a little bit. Once I feel like my team is good, I'm going to follow you guys. I'm going to come over. We might as well take this trip anyway. Right before he boards the ship to go meet his wife and daughters, he gets a telegram from his wife. And it said 2 words, because in telegrams you had to be very efficient. It said, survived alone. His 4 daughters had died in a crash, in a sea collapse. So during a storm at sea, his 4 daughters died. His wife, presumably in critical condition, he boards the ship to go see her. And when they get to the place where his 4 daughters perished, the ship captain comes down and says, hey, Mr. Safford, you should know that this is the spot where your daughters died. And he sat down and he wrote words to a song. And it's a hymn, and it's not as popular as Amazing Grace, but it's one of the most popular hymns to this day. And I'm going to sing the first 4 lines. It says, when peace like a river attendeth my way. I was supposed to sing this. I'm sorry. When sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. This man, his 4 daughters died, his son died, his wife in critical care, his business burned to the ground, and yet in the midst of it, he could sing the words, it's well with my soul. Johan last week talked about a man named Job. This man lost everything. And in the midst of it all, he said, I will not curse God, for he is good, and I am not. We see, I'm sure Mr. Safford knew something. That Romans 8:28, it says this, we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That's pretty rough. You lost everything. And yet in the midst of it, he can say, it's well with my soul because I know my God is still good. Did the things that happened to him, were they good? Do you think he had peace within his heart when he wrote those things? I don't think so. I think it felt like a storm brewing up inside. It was turbulent and rough. But I think he chose gratitude in the midst of sorrow, in the midst of loss, in the midst of depression knocking at his door. He said, no, I'm going to choose. Through the tears and the heartache, I'm going to choose to praise my God, to be rejoicing, thankful. The only kind of praise that you can give on earth that you cannot give in heaven is the praise through tears. It's not even in my notes anymore. See, God tells us to protect our mind, to make our mind strong. He tells us that in his word because he says, I have a solution. And if you do this, depression, anxiety, stress cannot rise against you. And this is what it is. It's 1 Thessalonians 5, 16, 17, and 18. It's 3 verses. All right? Always be joyful. Never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances. For this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus. So essentially, those 3 say, Always be joyful, never stop praying, be thankful in all things. That's pretty clear. That's actually 3 things we can memorize pretty quickly. Always be thankful. Always rejoice. Always pray. Always give thanks. Why did God command us to do that? It's because he knows that depression and anxiety cannot stand in the midst of joy, rejoicing, in the midst of being thankful. Like we just celebrated Thanksgiving, 2 weeks ago? And yet, it was like a week and a half, okay. You guys know what I was doing? Does anybody know what I was doing during Thanksgiving?
You were sick.
I was very sick. I spent the whole Thanksgiving in the bathroom and in the bed. And I alternated between the 2 of them. Sometimes I was sitting on the toilet, sometimes I wasn't. And anyway, I'm going to stop before I get to you, Mike. But the thing is, like, in the midst of that, I chose to be thankful because I knew I was protecting my heart and my mind. I was saying, I'm going to choose thankfulness and joy. Dixie, come back up here, please.
Oh,
I'm gonna borrow you real quick.
no.
All right. Do you guys remember a few weeks ago when I talked about a yoke?
Yes.
I shared the story in Matthew. Before I have you put anything on, I'm just going to stand up here for a second, okay? Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens. Is that heavy? Yeah, it is. I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart. You will find rest for your souls. He said, my yoke is easy, and my burden I give to you is light.
That's not light.
So this is what the world gives you, right?
Dixie.
Now, you remember how a yoke works, right? You take a young ox,
Oh, this thing.
and then you string it up.
I remember when he was thinking.
You take a young ox, and you string it up to an older ox, and then they walk together. Let's go ahead and walk. How heavy is that? It's not? Yeah.
It's not on your back.
It's not that heavy, is it? You see, because I'm carrying the weight for you. If you let me, I'll carry it for you. That's what God's saying. He's saying, if you let me carry the weight, I'll carry it for you. Now, you have to go where I'm going, right? You have to go where I lead you. If I decide to stop and you continue walking, guess what? Continue walking.
Oh!
Oh, no, I'm not pulling you back. I can pull her back like this.
Oh!
I'm not trying to pull you back. Here, I'm going to let you take this off now.
Yeah, hold it down deep.
But you see what's happening? She can only go where I go. She can only do what I do because I'm the one carrying the weight. It's the same thing with God. If you walk with him, he said, follow me. If you walk at his pace with him, at his speed, he will carry that weight for you. You see, there's always hope, even when you can't feel it, even when you can't see it, and even when you can't imagine how things will ever be different. Hope is real, and hope still wins. Because hope is able to overcome any depression, any anxiety, any worry, any fear, any uncertainty or doubt. If you're carrying something heavy today, if you're tired, if you're hurting, if you feel hopeless, I want to tell you guys, hope has a name. His name's Jesus. He wants to take that burden and lift it off your back and carry it for you. Nick, go ahead and cut the live stream for me, will you? So I'm wrapping this up.